Dr. John Gartner, an American psychologist and psychotherapist, calls Trump a psychiatric Frankenstein monster and paranoid psychopathic narcissist who is divorced from reality.
If we could construct a psychiatric Frankenstein monster, we could not create a leader more dangerously mentally ill than Donald Trump. He's a paranoid psychopathic narcissist who's divorced from reality and lashes out impulsively at his imagined enemies.
He lies because of his sociopathic tendencies that Dr. Gartner was talking about, that he lies in the way anybody who scams people does, that he's trying to sell an idea or a product by telling you something that's untrue. There's that lying. There's also the kind of lying he has that is, in a way, more serious, that he has a loose grip on reality.
As reported by The Washington Post, fact-checkers found that Trump made over 30,000 false or misleading statements during the time he was president. Another nonpartisan fact-checking service called PolitiFact documented hundreds of false statements by Trump. One of Trump's most outrageous statements was claims of massive and widespread fraud and deception in the 2020 election, which allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. In response, PolitiFact stated, there was no massive or widespread fraud in the 2020 election. Courts repeatedly rejected Trump's allegations of fraud and a stolen election. Moreover, there is no mechanism for the termination of constitutional rules because of undesired election results. Additional false statements include his outrageous claim that, quote, Biden's DOJ was authorized to use deadly force in Mar-a-Lago raid. Vice President Kamala Harris is talking about bringing back the draft. In Springfield, Ohio, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. The transgender thing is incredible. Your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides what's going to happen with your child. Vice President Kamala Harris is a communist. She is really a Marxist. The Harris-Biden administration has been caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics. Harris's August 7th rally near Detroit was AI-generated and there was nobody there. Kamala Harris has promised amnesty for the 10 million illegals she allowed in as borders are, making them eligible for Social Security. We're losing 300,000 people a year to fentanyl that comes through our border. We had it down to the lowest number and now it's worse than it's ever been. Joe Biden is letting millions of people from jails, from prisons, from insane asylums, from mental institutions, drug dealers pour in. Kamala Harris wants to forcibly compel doctors and nurses against their will to give chemical castration drugs to young children. During the 2020 Minnesota riots after George Floyd's murder, Governor Tim Walz didn't call in the National Guard, so I sent in the National Guard to save Minneapolis. 82% of the country understands that the 2020 election was rigged. There is no evidence Joe Biden won. In 2020, the ballots that were counted were fake ballots. Democrats used COVID to cheat in the 2020 election. Here's a fraction of Trump's lies and false statements documented by PolitiFact. As you can see, the list is staggering. Yet it appears a large segment of the United States population is totally unaware of how Trump lies with impunity. This is just a sample of the false statements made by Trump, and why some say Trump is the biggest liar in history. In 2016, After polls showed Trump with a lead in the Iowa GOP presidential primary, Ted Cruz made a late surge to beat Trump fair and square. Instantly, without any evidence or proof, Trump fired off this tweet accusing Cruz of cheating. Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa, he stole it. That's why all the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. A few days later, Trump released another tweet demanding that Cruz stop cheating or else he's going to sue him for not being a natural-born citizen. Sounds familiar? Every election Donald Trump has ever lost has been rigged. Every election he's won is legitimate. Listen to Ted Cruz explain, in a rare moment of candor, how Trump made insane accusations about Cruz's father being involved in JFK's assassination, and how Trump is a pathological liar.
Donald Trump went on national television and attacked my father. Donald Trump alleges that my dad was involved in assassinating JFK. Now, let's be clear. This is nuts. This is not a reasonable position. This is just kooky. I'm going to do something I haven't done for the entire campaign. For those of y'all who have traveled with me all across the country, I'm going to tell you what I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth. And in a pattern that I think is straight out of a psychology textbook, his response is to accuse everybody else of lying. He accuses everybody on that debate stage of lying. And it's simply a mindless yell. Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of doing. The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen.